Just today, I was going to make some content about a whole nother video when I came across this particular email. The email from Brother Kelvin says, Black women will invest into the community, Black men won't. So, me being curious, I wanted to press play.
If you want to have an impact in Black community, invest in Black women, because Black women will employ Black people, will be leaders in their community, will make sure that any development they do benefit the community. That's it. The formula is not that complex. If you look at the number of Black women starting businesses in this country, it's astronomical, but we don't have the financial support. And when you do get the financial support, and my God, the pressure that comes with that, understand that you don't have no room for any mistake. None. But when we do get it right, we get it right. And I think this building is a manifestation of getting it right. Invest in Black women and you will see the community change.
And after pressing play, it reminded me of something that I saw 2 years ago with financial juggernaut Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs, as you know, they're going to invest $10 billion into Black female businesses, okay? Trying to basically impact the lives of 1 million Black women. Now, I want you to listen to this interview on the Griot Politics channel. And I want you to look at the president of the Goldman Sachs Foundation. And I want you to tell me what color and what gender she is. Let's play that clip.
Talk about money, shall we? One of the biggest banking companies in the world has announced plans to invest more than $10 billion in economic opportunities for Black women. Now, the goal is to level the playing field after years of gender and racial inequality. I mean, the record's been horrific. Goldman Sachs calls the plan 1 million Black women. And here to tell us all about it is the president of the Goldman Sachs Foundation and global head of corporate engagement, Asahi Pompey, joins us right now. And thanks so much for joining us on Start Your Day. It's such an important initiative, but we want to make sure we have the details just right. Let's start with some of the history here, right? Goldman Sachs. Black women's earnings compared to other groups. You've looked at the numbers, they're startling.
Sharon, Mike, first of all, it's wonderful to see you and to be here. You're right, the numbers are startling. There's in fact a 90% wealth gap between what a Black woman has in this country and a white man. And you and I know that Malcolm X said, you know, the most neglected person in America is the Black woman. And he said that 50 years ago, and our data shows that's still true today. You know, we've got the worst maternal health outcomes. We're the most rent burdened of any person in the population. Our Black women business owners have a hard time getting capital. Our Black women students have a hard time financing their education. So as you think about it across the board, there is a critical need to help Black women. And so you're right, this is the largest investment ever in this country, specifically focused on impacting the lives of at least 1 million Black women by the year 2030.
So guys, do you hear this narrative? This is not different from John Leguizamo's narrative in the Latino community when they're saying that they built this country, right? That they are the biggest spender, $2.8 trillion economy. You know, that's the narrative, but that's also the narrative of somebody that wants power. And I think that a lot of Black men don't understand what's coming down the pike, but this is what they're saying now. Black women, in both of these ladies, if I'm not mistaken, they're not even, I would say, African-American ladies. These are women that are African women who are first generation, and they have joined in on the African-American women are behind talk. Just like this lady. She even quoted Malcolm X for you guys, talking about the Black women as the least unprotected. And I do believe that. Even in Africa, I believe that. But she's attaching herself to that narrative to join in on the fact that even though she is West African, I believe, Pompey, she's putting that aside to say All black women need this funding. See, there is no you're Nigerian when they talk about black women. There is no you're African American. No. They're all coming together under the fact that we are all black women, and then you black men don't invest into your community. That's what they're saying without saying it. The first lady said, we are the ones that invest back into the black community. We are the ones, the black community changes. Now I'm gonna have a little pushback on some of those things, right? The last 30 to 40 years, we've seen this whole situation where, okay, black women are the most educated group. We've heard that, okay? Black women are doing far better than black men. Then how is it that you have those talking points, but you're saying that, well, you're not investing into black women enough when you're making these claims? And I'll tell you why these claims are being made. Did you hear what the lady said? She says, in comparisons to white men, we're not making the same money. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that they're not even worried about competing against black men anymore. They don't even care about that. That's not who they're aiming for. When black women are trying to judge themselves or rate themselves towards earning capacity, they're doing the same thing that the Latinos are doing now, which is we are comparing ourselves to the top person that we see. We'll start with the whites, right? Once they can try to catch up to the whites, then they're going to go for who's the next highest earning person. Indians, Chinese, Asians, somebody like that. So what they're saying is we're not even worried about these black men in even being in competition with them. They're already done. That's what they're saying. We don't even care about them. They're done. We want to catch up as a group to the most top person in the country, which is white men. We want to be on the same level of feminism as white women, as Asian women. That is what they're saying. Okay. And because of that push, look at the investment capital they're going to get. $10 billion in direct investment capital and $100 million in philanthropic support. I'm going to push back on something she said in the first clip. If you invest back into black women, the black community will change. I'm not saying that it won't change. But now, when I think of black men and investing into black men, it actually makes black women's lives easier, especially if those black men are going to marry those women. You're going to see safer communities. You're going to see more people voting. You're going to see a whole lot of things happening in married communities, which the women also invest in. But the women are not going out there and they're not lobbying for you. Bring this money to the black community, right? They're not doing that. Bring it to black women. And so what they're saying in so many words is, and this is not all black women, but they're trying to tell you, black men, you're on your own. This is our bag. Okay? We are the ones that organize this with the Goldman Sachs Foundation. It is us as a voting bloc. This is our bag. We don't need your help. That's what they're trying to say. They're not trying to say that. That's what they are saying. They're saying that. And as black men, you have to understand what that language is. You need to understand what's going on around you. You need to understand what's happening now. You are completely being looked over by everybody. Nobody in general, as a group, values your group such that they feel like they need to give you something. And I'm not saying that we're not valuable as a group. I'm just talking about, look at the advertisers. If you talk about, I was talking to I was just in context with a company. I just happened to ask them, what is your advertisement rates? Not advertisement rates, but your demographics. And this is for something that men typically buy. 18 to 35 women. This is a beer company, by the way. I was just curious. A beer company. So even with something that you'll be more likely to buy, they're not even trying to get you as a customer, as a group of men in general. So if that's in general, we know that black men in particular, nobody's going to look out for you like that. And you need to understand how that language sounds. And if you're not careful, all right, just like us as a group, you as a group of men, we're going to be completely desecrated out of every sector as a group. I'm not talking about as an individual. Because when Goldman Sachs gives these ladies this money, they're going to be entrepreneurs. They're going to be able to start businesses. They're going to be able to employ people. They're going to have power in the black community. They're going to have the power to do these things. That's different from what black men are. You see, do you understand that? That's completely different. This is not money to go to school. This is money to run businesses, enterprises. Do you know how much power businesses give you? How much leverage you get? How much wealth can be created if the business is successful? Guys got to understand this language and this tonality. And if you don't understand it, and if you want to waste your time and, you know, some of these arguments and things like that, I get that, but you need to see what's going on and what's going on around you. And in no other time has black men fellowship being more important than now. We have the numbers and we already have the money, but we got to start creating these things now for ourselves. If we do not, we are in serious trouble. We are in serious trouble. And I'm telling you, as a brother, I see what's going on. We are in serious trouble as a group. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.